This video was sponsored by Kershaw Knives, creating high-quality, high-performance, exceptional working tools and knives that users are proud to carry. Use discount code ARCHERY20 for 20% off at KershawKnives.com. Hey Archery Talk, this is Lucas, and today is kind of my final video on the setup of the Easton ProComp target arrows. For those of you who don't know, I've been shooting some Easton Pro Fields for a number of years now. They've long been out of stock. Initially, I bought a used set from a friend of mine who wanted to move to something else, and I really liked them. And then I ended up buying another dozen once they went out of stock. I found them online at one of the dealers for less than half price, so I picked those up just to have them. And then 4 years later, I'm almost out of arrows and needed new ones. I called Easton up. They were kind enough to send over some of these Pro Comps. The Pro Fields I was shooting were 420 spine, and I had them cut very short because the spine's a little soft for someone with my draw length. They were cut down to 27.5 inches basically. And these Pro Comps are 420 spine. So I just wasn't sure what the best method was for cutting these up, how short to cut them, how much weight to put on them. So I don't know if you saw this or not, I talked to Cody Griffin from Easton Archery, and he kind of talked me through the process. And so we figured the best thing to do was to experiment, and that's what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks. I initially cut 3 arrows down to 29 inches and 3 more down to 28.5 inches. And I put the 130 grain points in all of these, and just started shooting groups and seeing which ones were shooting the best for me. So I shot probably 20 groups of those each of those 3 arrows out of a couple different bows. I shot out of the Hoyt Stratos and the new Elite Verdict I've just got in somewhat recently, and just kind of waited and saw which ones kind of worked the best for multiple bows, which ones were kind of grouping the tightest, and it ended up being the 28.5 inches. So I cut the rest down to 28.5 inches. I finally put points in all the other arrows, and that's where we're standing right now. So the Easton ProComp 420s for me are with 130 grains out front and 28.5 inches carbon to carbon. I still have room to go down a little bit more. As I said, the last ones were about 27.5 inches, so I could conceivably go down to 28 if I need to, but so far I'm not really seeing the need. Again, these 28.5s we're grouping as well as I can shoot, which right now is honestly not very good. I've been struggling, I mentioned in some prior videos. I'm trying to get over that a little bit, but and that's why I had to shoot so many groups to figure out which ones were going better for me. Fletching wise, I set up each of these with Fletch 187s. Those are the target arrows I've used the most in my life. The target vanes rather I've used the most in my life. I like a shield cut vane, and it's kind of low profile. It's fairly short, so it doesn't get in the way a lot in the wind, and hopefully those will last a long time. The Flex Fletch is also really good. When you get squished, they squish them up a little bit. They bounce back into shape really easily. I chose to use arrow wraps. I've always done that in the past, but mostly because I just hate scraping glue off of arrows. I just hate it. I'm always worried I'm going to cut into the carbon, I'm going to ruin an arrow, or I'm not going to get all the glue off. It's going to be all bumpy or whatever. So I went back with the arrow wraps. These are 1-stringer arrow wraps. I had just had these lying around at home. These are actually a little bit thicker than I was supposed to have for this arrow. I think I need a 0.75 inch, and these are 0.8, but that's what I had on hand. I didn't feel like going to buy more just for that purpose. So I put those on there. My only issue with arrow wraps is sometimes you'll lose a fletching off of there, and then you have to refletch all 3 arrows, all 3 vanes rather. You have to take the wrap off and do that. But the wrap is easy to take off. I just use a hairdryer, blow it on there for 10 seconds, and then I can usually peel the wrap off pretty easily, and then I can redo it again. And it's a lot less labor intensive than scraping glue off, and less expensive if you're going to break one of those arrows. Beyond that, right now I just got to shoot them. I'll be shooting as much as I can at 50 meters with my target bows, and then some field archery this summer. Hopefully, I've been very slacking in that in recent years and getting out to field shoots. It's my favorite type of archery. If you've not done it, definitely go give it a try. It's basically, I like field because you could shoot lots of arrows. You get a chance if you screw up to still get another arrow in the same target and hopefully do better than that next one. But for now, the Pro Comps have been great. I spun all of these before I cut them. Both sides, all of them were dead straight. Again, these are aluminum wrapped in carbon, so it's about as straight as you're going to get. I couldn't find wobble on any side, so I just cut them all from the front so they look as clean as I could get them. I'm using knot collars as well. My Pro Fields didn't have those, and they lasted a long time, but you shoot enough groups, even at 50, you don't have to. I'm not a pro level archer, but you're still going to slap a lot of arrows at 50 meters. And so I'm hoping these knot collars are going to protect the back sides of these arrows a little bit. When I made a reference to that on the Instagram page and Facebook or whatever, everybody told me to use the knot collar. So all right, I'm listening to everybody else. They can't all be wrong. And that's it. I may also end up playing with the point weight a little bit. Again, these are 130. but there you can cut it off. You can cut down to 120 if you want. You can cut down to 110, but I don't think I want to go that low. I like a little bit of weight up front. So I'm going to play with 130 for now, and if I need to, they're hot melted in. I just finished hot melting all the rest of those in tonight. So they're not, I can get them out if I need to. I've always in the past gone with like the kind of more like the Fletching glue, like the fast dry, which you can't really hot melt. You can't really heat up to knock it out of there. So just because I want to be able to play around with these and get the maybe play around with the length, I chose with the hot melt method. But that's it. Again, so far the arrows are shooting great. They got a lot to live up to. I love those pro fields. Hopefully I'll like these just as much. But the guy pulling the string has got to get a little better to really take full advantage of what these things have to offer. Archery Talk, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.